Well, I figured I should make a video about this because since a lot of you have subscribed to me for my gaming content, it's been a bit of a tumultuous 48 hours because I heard this all kicking off last night. In fact, this actually happened yesterday around the afternoon when Microsoft, in their infinite foolish wisdom, decided to close down 4 video game studios under their umbrella.
Luca! Bueno? Piñu! Bueno? Piñu!
It's absolutely ridiculous. It actually hurts me as well because I'm a long-time Xbox fan. I like the early iterations of PlayStation, what it's become now. But let's get into this video, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got a lot to dissect and unpack. And all I'm going to say is Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, and last and certainly not least, Phil Spencer, fire those morons as soon as possible.
So my friends who are reporters tell me that there's absolutely nothing in the world that makes their editor's day like controversy and bad news. So to all our esteemed members of the press, I say, you're welcome.
We'll take down this company, one boss at a time. Just so you know, they're insane.
These women ain't nothing like them nowhere.
Sexism in gaming. Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous host.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves, and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
Said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Right, no retreat, no surrender.
So here we go, folks. Courtesy of IGN, Microsoft closes Redfall developer Arcane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda. And of course, what is the boilerplate response we get here? This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Which probably means a great excuse to have frat parties and get dancing girls out there in cheerleader outfits, because apparently Phil Spencer, the Microsoft head of their gaming division, is against that kind of absurd, abhorrent behavior.
Toga, 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 toga.
When we get into this by Wesley Yin Poole, I didn't know he was working for IGN. So obviously I've just mentioned everything there. Alpha Dogs Games, maker of mobile game Mighty Doom, will also close. And then Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online development team at ZeniMax Online Studios. And this reminds me of Shinji Mikami's reaction to the news that Tango Gameworks is closing. Closed, sad, end of story, pure and simple, gets a lot of traction, move on, that's it. But of course, Matt Booty, in his ridiculous email to colleagues that they're all going to be closed down, managed to get the actual game studios 2 out of the 4 wrong. So Alpha Dog Studios were actually Alpha Dog Games, and then going back to Roundhouse Games, they're actually Roundhouse Studios LLC. Oh dear, Matt Booty, the man who was the overseer of exciting game titles out there. Remember, this is the same Matt Booty who said, I've seen Fable, the new game, it looks incredible. I mean, I'm not allowed to tell you anything. And then we saw snippets in that fucking trailer where that bloody awful female protagonist looks like a he, him, they, that.
Wanker.
Microsoft is currently valued at over $3 trillion. Did not say how many staff will lose their jobs. All I'm going to say at this stage is if you've got $3 trillion, give those boys and girls a good severance take-home pay to make it last maybe a couple of years. But it is absolutely ridiculous. In 2021, in March, I remember doing a reaction video for this, which I thankfully delisted, where Microsoft acquired Bethesda Studios for $7.5 billion. At the time, I was excited. I thought, oh, this could be great. I mean, you're bringing together like all these development teams under one umbrella, like, Bethesda and the Doom ID engine. Imagine taking the ID engine and putting that into a brand new Gears of War game. That's not brain surgery. That's like a given thing. It's like when the X-Men movie was being cast in 1999. Who did people want to play Professor X? Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick. It was a no-brainer, and I think the studio heads already had Patrick in mind anyway. So why couldn't they use that same thought of logic when it came to acquiring Bethesda, that you could take their game engine and infuse it into some very stale modern titles for Microsoft? And they haven't capitalized on that at all, have they? It's absolutely retarded beyond belief. Of course, Arcane Studios, they had the disastrous vampire co-op game Redfall, which didn't receive the promised updates, even though they were working on DLC for that apparently. So on Redfall, the disastrous vampire co-op game will now not receive promised DLC updates. It's been 86'd. 86 is the terminology that they use in restaurants when the item is no longer on the menu for that day, including an offline mode and new character DLC. The thing with Redfall, like when they had that trailer, it was so impressive. But the thing I kept asking was, well, is it going to be a third-person game or first-person? If it's third-person and it looks like those characters on the trailer, I'm all in. But of course, it just seems that somebody had left the kitchen a long time ago at Arcane Lyon and just carried on walking down that road like David Carradine from an episode of Kung Fu.
Do you think things will ever go back to normal?
So Alex Battaglia, our favorite male cheerleader over at the Digital Foundry, had this to say about the news. Breaking: all the money Microsoft saves by closing acclaimed game studios is going to be used to re-implement right-click in Windows 11. Wow. And of course, Mrs. Battaglia is not wrong, are they? Because at the end of the day, who in the last 10 years or more actually bought a Microsoft Windows operating system? You either download it for free, you pirate it, you get the professional edition, you then go to eBay and you pay for a CD serial key that actually turns your pirated version into the real thing. It's so cool. But why should we invest in Microsoft Productions or their products or what they've got to sell? Nothing. Again, Bill Gates on top of that pile, he used to be the richest man in the world maybe 10 years ago, but of course might have had other nefarious goings on the island of Epstein. And of course, this just in, the money goes nowhere. Some useless lines on a graph go up. Investors cheer, namely BlackRock and Vanguard, and game dev suffers. Of course, game development teams suffer, and Windows 11 is getting even more ads curated by AI.
So let's have fun.
So courtesy of The Verge, Microsoft acquired Bethesda, don't you know, because when they heard that Starfield was going to be a PlayStation exclusive, they got right in there and forked up $7.5 billion to buy Bethesda. But of course, we already know at this stage that Todd Howard, the man who founded or is the overseer at Bethesda, is a snake oil salesman. He's got the gift of the gab. I mean, look what he did with Fallout 76. The amount of the 16 times the detail nonsense. And of course, that was an absolute garbage truck of a lie. If you're not aware, on February the 20th of this year, 2024, there is a pending, shall we say, further investigation from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, regarding antitrust issues with Microsoft FTC obviously were opposing the merger of Activision Blizzard and Microsoft, and obviously their previous acquisition with Bethesda Game Studios and ZeniMax, because it was becoming a monopoly or perceived to be that way and eliminating competition. And at the time I was like, you know what? I'm actually not with the FTC on this one. They had that woman representing them and she did a really botch up job. Not her fault, but I thought she was absolutely funny to watch. But, you know, in retrospect, and when the embers have all settled down on the ground, I'm actually on the FTC side on this one. I actually do get where they're coming from. And I think a lot of people are actually feeling that way now, which is just really awful. Even the CEO of Arrowhead, the people behind Helldivers 2, had this to say: I don't understand the closure of Tango Gameworks. I mean, why close instead of divest? Surely the team would easily have been able to find a new home. Tango Gameworks, who shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush last year, and I played that game, is excellent. Not all of it, but it was great. But look at Aaron Greenberg, old big fat tubby wubby from Xbox. Hi-Fi Rush was a breakout hit for us, and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. A surprise release that was never a physical edition, boys and girls. Had they done that and maybe allowed the game to be shared on other platforms, it would have been a bigger hit, and Tango Gameworks might have still been around today. But Aaron Greenberg, what he likes to do, or should I say Aaron Green Turd, is to sit there and stuff himself a corporate breakfast every morning, having no clue what to do. Oh my word, I tell you, man, this has just got me so fired up, so enraged. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I said the names Ikumi Nakamura, who? Of course you know who she is. E3 2019, she made a big impact on all of us. She was Shinji Mikami's protege, his successor. She came out on stage in 2019 E3, talked enthusiastically, I should say, about Ghostwire Tokyo. It was her infectious charm. It was her demeanor. It was the fact that she was apologizing because she couldn't speak proper English. We did not care. She already gauged our attention and we were hooked.
I'll do my best to speak in English.
No one's laughing at you, love. Trust me.
We are making a new kind of action-adventure game. It's spooky. But not the survival horror game that we are known for. People are vanishing in Tokyo. You must find out why. You will encounter conspiracies and the occult. You have to explore the world, face challenges to uncover the truth and save humanity. In the game, you will meet spirits, some dangerous, some peaceful, and survivors that each have their stories. You will need to ask yourself, it is normal or paranormal? I ask myself this question every time I go to the office. Just kidding. We are very excited. Let's take a look. 見てね. Thank you. Bye bye.
I gotta say, her presence on there was way, way better than Keanu Reeves with "You're breathtaking." No, you're breathtaking. I honestly thought she was great. Man, I've got a bit of a tear to my eye on that one. It's just so sad because she left the project afterwards due to creative differences. So I wonder if she had a different mindset when it came to Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't know. So it's, the fact that she kind of left all of a sudden, people already saw like there was something wrong on the horizon there, and it's just awful. Obviously, like a couple of years later, then Microsoft just came in and decided they would actually buy up Bethesda. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, people are absolutely pissed off. I mean, when you got Sarah Bond from Xbox, who sits there in front of a camera and announces to the world what her pronouns are, you know something is seriously amiss at the foot of the Circle K.
My name is Sarah Bond. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the head of ecosystem for Xbox.
I tried looking up Matt Booty and Phil Spencer for their pronouns. No, they don't know them at all because they don't believe in using them. It's so stupid. I do believe that Vanguard and BlackRock might have something to do with what is going on in the paradigm of video gaming, because obviously they're unique shareholders. And again, you know what? I think the bottom line is Microsoft, Sony, maybe soon Nintendo, they don't care about you anymore and your love and your passion for video gaming. We're just going to go in a different direction. Apparently, Microsoft want to create and build new IPs. What, like Elder Scrolls 6? No one's interested. Phil Spencer, fire that guy. I used to like Phil Spencer. He was meant to be the hope for Xbox all those years ago at E3. When Uncle Phil stepped out on stage, everybody was like, what's he going to do? What's he going to say to save us? Like Jack Tretton, when he was at PlayStation, he was great. I mean, again, Mr. Tretton is a friend, a personal buddy of Bobby Kotick. I mean, Bobby Kotick, who worked at Activision Blizzard and got himself a golden parachute and a check to go with it, is obviously laughing. He must have seen something on the horizon that Microsoft were going to buy all these companies, all these studios, and then get rid of them. It makes no business sense why you would do this. I mean, the bloodbath is out there, ladies and gentlemen. People want the heads of Sarah Bond, of Phil Spencer, of Aaron Greenberg, and Matt Booty Wooty to be put on stakes. They really do, because these people have no idea that they've bitten off more than they can chew, and they don't know what to do. Oh man, I tell you, I am out of breath for making this video, but I'm just so enraged. I really do feel sorry for the development teams who've had to lose their jobs. Obviously, it's going to be a gradual thing before they either find work elsewhere or they're told to leave the buildings of Microsoft very quietly. You know what? The learning curve is, when you hear about a big company trying to swallow up the assets of another one, just tread very, very cautiously, ladies and gentlemen, because it's only going to have one ending, a bad one, and none of us like that, do we? Especially in all forms of entertainment. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like below, smash that like and subscribe button, and don't worry, you're going to see some new bandanas on my forehead very soon, and you'll catch me catching you on the next video.